I miss my grandmom. Yeah, I do. I, anytime I get to a phase in my life where I'm either marking or celebrating a milestone or trying to make a decision that a really, serious life altering decision. I think about my grandma. And this is because she had been a pivotal part of my life. I grew up with her, and even when I had to go and live with my other parent, it was my grandma's influence that made me even go to school or made me even get access to some of the opportunities that I had access to growing up. I don't know why I'm missing her today, but I think sometimes we do not know what we have until we lose it. My grandma didn't just pass. My grandma passed on in 2014, a few months after I got married. Like, the woman waited and saw me through, ensured that someone paid my school fees in the university, saw me through getting married, really gave a beautiful performance, danced very well at my wedding, and passed on a few months after. One would say it's unfortunate, but I think it was just time. However, there were lessons that this woman taught me that I think if I had listened, or if I hadn't taken it out of maybe she over caring or trying to be overprotective of me, I think life would have been better for me, or I would have been somewhere better, or I wouldn't have gone through all that I had gone through. In the last few years of my life. Sometimes we look at the past and then we want to begin to regret, right? In the past few years, this year and few parts of last year, I started living a life of gratitude. But no matter how you live a life of thanksgiving, a life of gratitude, sometimes you just sit and reflect on where you're coming from. Forgive my voice. I've been having flu for almost 7 days now, and I just got better. I just started recovering yesterday, so yeah, I just probably gave me time to do some reflections, and I just said I should put this out there. I miss my grandma. I miss my grandma so much. There were times that she looked at me and this is concerning other family members now, and she'll tell me, look, just do whatever you're supposed to do, get whatever you're supposed to get from them, and just go. And then sometimes I look at her, I'm like, Mama, how will you say that kind of a thing? Oh, yeah, I mean, because I've always been family oriented, right? So whether from my family or from the new family I met later, I've always been family oriented. It's always been about family. So even if I went anywhere, I was doing anything, the first people I considered were family, even people that grew up with me or people that didn't grow up with me. Once I knew this person was my family, then they became an important part of my life. I became loyal to them. And yes, this loyalty cost me a lot. This loyalty cost me a few years of my life in the mud. But I'm glad I'm out of that place now. I'm no longer there. And I can just share and smile about it. But that's not all about that. That's about my grandma and some of the lessons that she taught me, some of the things she discussed with me that not that I didn't value them, but I didn't quickly pick them up. Like I didn't quickly put them, into action. There were some things she told me, there were some ways she told me to act or behave. For instance, I thought this video was not going to be more than 5 minutes, but what am I doing? Okay, let me just allow myself yeah. So for instance, when the parent I grew up with used to really be physically abusive. Now, it's not me making excuses for anyone being abusive to the child under their care, but there are some people that go through whatever they go through, and they transfer this aggression on the children that are with them, either the children they birthed or the children that are just with them, or anyone around. So in my case, I was the only one with this parent, and I was their child. So if they were going to, if they got frustrated about life at all, it was going to be on me. And it was not just about emotional or psychological abuse or financial abuse. This was physical abuse. This was beating. There were some tips that my grandma gave me about what I would do for this parent of mine to stop beating me then. But I didn't do them because at the point she was like, look, when she starts like that, just shout, let neighbors come. You're too quiet. That's why. But then at a point when they'll be almost strangling me in the middle of the night, I'll keep quiet because I was scared. I wasn't just scared. I didn't know what the outside held. Aside that, even before I got into university, I was always taught that, look, you need to go to school, you need to go to the university before you have a life. So I didn't know any other life outside of going to school. While in the university, unfortunately for me, I went to a private school. It wasn't something I could pay my fees. And when I begin to think about my life, so far, it's always been one technique, one manipulation technique or the other to keep me in that shadow, to keep me in that place where I would not come out, in that place where I'll always be under a particular control or a particular person's control or manipulation. So they were able to use me, in quote, to achieve any goal or aim. So anything that will make me stand on my feet and be on my own was was not welcome. So yeah, so even while in school, when they came with that physical abuse, verbal abuse, all manner of things, curses, and all manner of things, I took it because that was where I thought my source came from. So at a point when my grandma saw that was my own approach towards getting whatever I needed to get from this particular parent, she told me something I would never forget. She was like, look, finish your school. Once you're done with your schooling and you get your certificate, leave. I saw the truth. I saw the concern. I saw everything in my grandma's eyes that day. She said leave. She said to leave. Not to leave just this parent, but to leave any other family member that thought I was less or that thought I was not enough to to become something. But I didn't leave. So I stayed. I stayed because I wanted to be with my family. I stayed because I grew up without I had uncles around, right? But I didn't grow up with my father. So I I thought um a part of life will come where I'll be able to spend, a good quality of my life with the closer male relatives in my life. I don't know if you get. So, say, as a woman or a young girl, then even though I got married, I wanted a situation where I could still be close to my family member. That succor you get from family, that thing, I wanted to have it with my family. I wanted a place where, look, if it gets boring, I just put in call. I want a place where I could go for holidays. They could come for holidays. That family ties. However, remember, I'd been warned. I'd been warned. So, between my grandma passed in October or November of 2014. Now, between 2016 and 2021, if I had listened to my grandma earlier, I wouldn't have gone through the shit with the people from the people I went through with. Yeah, I wouldn't have. I don't know why I'm sharing this. So anyway, I'll just stop there. Sometimes you don't know what you have until you lose it. Until you lose it. My grandma told me lots of things. She used proverbs to tell me things, directly or indirectly. She told me things that, of course, some of them work. Some of them I put them into practice and it worked. In marriage, in business, in career, in dealing with people outside. I knew, you know, they say the wisdom of the old. I put all that into practice. It worked outside. But with family, I couldn't put that into practice. I couldn't just leave family. But right now it's different. Right now I'm the one running away. Right now I'm the one telling myself and going back. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I really miss my grandma, and I really wish she was here to see what life um is bringing for me. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet at all, but I'm far from where I started. I'm far from when I made the decision to put myself first. It was the decision to put myself first that actually started all these things you're seeing or hearing about me. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to have had such a woman in my life. And now everybody has different experiences of people. My own experience of my grandma may be different from another person's experience of my grandma, but for me, I just know that today I miss my grandma and I just wanted to put it out there. Cheers.